These are the Hot Wheels, owned by multi-millionaires. Vintage Formula One cars worth 6 and 7 figures apiece. And they're racing them at speeds close to 200 miles per hour, reliving their boyhood fantasies.
I love driving these things. Brings back great memories. This is a big guy Hot Wheel.
Zach Brown used to be a Formula One driver, but he made his money starting the world's largest motorsports marketing agency. Now he races his collection of 21 cars for fun, and every one of them was a winner back in its heyday. Like this set of wheels driven by Mario Andretti.
About $750,000. The one behind there is about $500,000.
Problem is, they're not street legal. So he has to go to a track like the Laguna Seca Raceway here in Central California. For this event alone, Zach's spending $200,000 to transport 5 cars and his own 15-man pit crew all the way from his home in London.
It's an expensive hobby. It's what keeps me working.
There's no prize, but racing in a sweltering fire trap a few inches from the ground can still get pretty competitive.
Anxiety's high, it's hot, you're really tight in the car, then you got everyone around you. And you touch wheels, these cars will get up in the air. It's one thing to be driving it by yourself. It's another thing to be out there with 40 other loonies like me.
Another millionaire putting the pedal to the metal this weekend is Chris McAllister. His vintage Ferrari recently had a starring role in the movie Rush. It's the actual car that racing icon Niki Lauda drove in his famous 1976 showdown against James Hunt.
What's it like to sit in this car?
Oh, kind of like a dream come true.
He's been offered millions for it, but Chris says he'll never part with his dream car. Because for Chris and Zach, the real-life Rush is worth way more than the big bucks these Hot Wheels could ever bring them. The ultra-wealthy don't like to wait for anything, but when it comes to owning this very rare Ferrari, they may have no choice.
Part of the mystique of the LaFerrari is you can't get one.
We'll tell you how Florida car dealer Todd Rosenthal scored his LaFerrari in a minute. But first, a little history on this hard-to-get supercar.
Now it's time to show the car.
When the special edition was unveiled in 2013, more than 1,000 well-heeled car lovers applied for the privilege of paying $1.4 million to own one. But Ferrari only built 499 of this exclusive model. So a lot of rich people who are used to getting what they want got nothing.
Do you mind getting the Ferrari all perked up?
And even though Todd buys and sells exotic wheels for a living, when it came to landing a LaFerrari, he initially missed the cut. But when the original buyer of this black beauty put it up for sale, Todd was all in.
I told my wife I was buying a LaFerrari. The first thing she said, "You crazy?"
But Todd didn't hesitate to drop major bucks for this unique used car, bought from a famous billionaire who left no doubt about his identity.
One of the first things when the car came off the truck that I did was go right for the steering wheel.
At the center of the wheel, the name Steve Wynn, as in the casino magnate who sold this mega machine for over $3 million, more than double what Wynn bought it for new. Todd paid even more to a third-party broker who handled the deal. Exactly how much?
I'd rather not say.
Todd will say that after owning the LaFerrari for a little over 2 months and only putting about 100 miles on the odometer, the lure of making money on his dream ride became more appealing than driving his daughter to school in it.
LaFerrari!
And now he wants to flip it.
I can either make $500,000 or possibly lose $500,000. You always take a gamble.
Todd's asking $5 million. If he gets it, this 949 horsepower limited edition will become one of the fastest appreciating assets in the car world. There are hundreds of fans at this swanky Miami party, all waiting to get a glimpse of the guest of honor. Only it's not a model or a celebrity. Under this satin cover lies one of the most expensive cars ever made.
For the first time in North America.
This is the Lykan Hypersport by W Motors. It's been dubbed the first Arabian supercar. And this one is the last of only 7 that were manufactured for sale, which is why the car maker's CEO, Ralph DeBas, is in Miami, looking to lure in a wealthy buyer who can afford the hefty price tag, $3.4 million. You may recognize the Hypersport as the hero ride from the movie Furious 7. But even that car wasn't equipped with custom upgrades, like leather seats stitched in real gold thread, or headlights bedazzled with 220 diamonds and precious stones, which would set the owner back $13,000 per light. But the best perk of all, these multi-million-dollar wheels come with an elite concierge service for anything your heart may desire.
You want to shut down a highway to go race your car with your friends, shut down the runway of an airplane, the world is yours.
And that ought to be enough to make a super rich car collector open his checkbook.
This is my AK-47, and today I get to shoot my boss.
The boss is Trent Kimball.
No penetration.
The super rich pay Trent hundreds of thousands of dollars to transform some of the world's most expensive cars into bullet and bomb-proof fortresses on wheels. In San Antonio, each year, Trent and his team at Texas Armoring perform their state-of-the-art magic on as many as 100 luxury rides for as much as $200,000 each, like this British supercar.
So right now, the Rolls-Royce Phantom is being completely taken apart.
First, the crew will strip this $500,000 car down to the frame. And after 300 hours of intense labor, it will emerge as a bad guy's worst nightmare.
This Rolls-Royce will have AK-47 M16 type protection. It will also have glass protection in the floor and then in the roof as well, in case someone tosses a grenade underneath it or they run over a mine or an IED.
Clients can also add countermeasures. Protective features like blinding strobe lights, smoke screens, a road tax system, even night vision.
Our clients want to protect against mainly kidnapping for ransom. Some of the clients also are trying to protect against assassination.
Trent's clients demand privacy, so he can't say who the owner of the Phantom is or even where it will be delivered.
He's actually taking it to another country. It's just a country that has a lot of unrest that he fears for his life.
In fact, most of Trent's clients live outside the U.S., so the majority of the armored fleet you see here will end up overseas.
Where the rich keep getting richer, that's where we see that our business is.
The Phantom is at least 6 months away from shipping out to its mystery location. But for this super rich and super secret owner, the wait will be well worth it, especially if those AK-47 bullets ever go flying his way. If there's one must-have supercar coveted by collectors all over the world, it's the McLaren F1. The British car maker built 106 of them in the 1990s, inspired by the company's race cars of that era. Back then, the street-legal F1 cost close to $1 million, which seems like a bargain today.
They don't change hands regularly, and when they do, it's a very significant occasion.
Sold your car, congratulations.
When this F1 came out of lockdown, it sold at auction for $13.75 million. So it's fitting that the 680 horsepower engine would sit inside a gold-lined compartment. But the real conversation starter is this, a centered steering wheel, which, as one reviewer put it, can be driven solo or menage a trois.
So you have 2 seats, one on either side. It's the only car like it in terms of that seating configuration, and it certainly makes for a lot of great jokes that kind of follow within it.
No joke, not even for comedian Jay Leno. He owns one and says he won't let a valet even touch it. And billionaire Elon Musk wasn't laughing when he wrecked his. It was uninsured. But funny thing happened to British actor Rowan Atkinson. Mr. Bean crashed his not once, but twice. After deciding that enough was enough, he still was able to sell the damaged ride for a cool $12 million. Soaring high above Seattle, flying in formation at speeds over 500 miles an hour, is the jet team sponsored by Breitling, the famous Swiss luxury watchmaker, which performs breathtaking feats at air shows around the world. But today's flight has been arranged purely for the entertainment of this very wealthy passenger, John Simonian. All because the Beverly Hills watch dealer spent $298,000 on a very exclusive set of wheels. He was the first customer to buy this extremely limited edition 2016 Bentley Continental GT Speed, inspired by Breitling's sponsored jet team. These custom GTs are the fastest cars that Bentley has ever built, and they're only making 7 of them. And just like the jets they're designed after, they've got a striking silver over gray paint job and Breitling's signature yellow accents inside and out. Each car is individually numbered on the tread plate and dashboard. All 7 took more than a year to build. When John learned that buyers of the GT Speed would also get a free ride in the sky, he wanted to be the first on board.
And since I'm the first one to ask for it, I want number 1.
And as an added bonus, Breitling is also giving John a $10,000 limited edition timepiece for free. But nothing on the ground can compare to John's ultimate test flight. The pilot pulls out all the stops on this 30-minute joyride. And while it might have cost John $300K to get airborne, there's no doubt the memories will be priceless.